SCP-009. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Object is to be contained within a sealed storage tank of heat-resistant alloy with dimensions no less than 2 meters by 2 meters by 2 meters. Under no circumstances should SCP-009 be exposed to temperatures of excess of 0 Celsius. When not undergoing testing, and no water-based solution shall be allowed within 30 meters of the object's containment area. Object's chamber is to be fitted with temperature sensors, which will be monitored at all times and is to be kept refrigerated by no fewer than 3 redundant cooling units. Any malfunctions of sensors or of coolant systems is to be reported and repaired immediately. If at any time the temperature in the containment room falls below -5 Celsius, the chamber is to be locked down, flooded with coolant, till temperatures return to safe levels, -30 Celsius to -25 Celsius. Containment areas to be kept in total vacuum during testing, and personnel interacting with SCP-009 must wear full environmental protection gear following testing. All equipment, personnel, and other material must undergo dehydration procedures and be quarantined for no less than 12 hours. Any moisture found displaying properties of SCP-009 is to be quarantined and added to the containment area as soon as possible. Living organisms found to be contained by SCP-009 are to be terminated by chemical desiccation and extracted molecules of SCP-009 added to containment. Description: SCP-009 is approximately redacted liters of a substance which superficially resembles distilled water, H2O, except with a distinct bright red hue. This red hue is discernible in all phases and serves as the most expedient method of identifying contained matter before its anomalous properties manifest. In contrast to mundane water, SCP-009 assumes a liquid phase at temperatures between -100 Celsius and 0, stalled state above these temperatures. At temperature below -10 Celsius, SCP-009 vaporizes into a gaseous phase similar to steam. Examinations of the atom structure of SCP-009 have proved inconclusive. The substance appears to be identical to normal water molecules with the exception of redacted, that contrast to lower standard laws of anthropology. Dr. Redacted Site, redacted resident expert on xenoparticle physics, suggests that SCP-009 may originate in a universe with alternate physical laws. The most hazardous property of SCP-009, however, is its ability to contaminate normal H2O when in contact with any aqueous source. SCP-009 will, through unknown mechanics, transfer anomalous properties to other objects and creatures. Testing has shown it capable of simulating ice, steam, tea, fruit juice, seawater, blood, and data expunged. The time it takes for this process to occur varies depending on temperature and the exact chemical composition of affected matter, and had been observed taking between 3 minutes and redacted hours. Experiments on D-class personnel have illustrated the process of conversion by the substance, which has been found to follow a consistent pattern. Initial exposure. The subject is exposed to SCP-009 and begins assimilating any moisture present on the exposed surface. Creatures in the stage do not commonly notice any unusual symptoms, except for slight warming sensation. Surface conservation. Frost begins to form in the exposed area, and the heat produced by the subject and SCP-009 itself raises its temperature above 0 Celsius. This stage can take anywhere from 1 minute to blank hours, during which time subjects begin to feel redacted crystals from the epidermis. Deep tissue conversion. Exponential increase in temperature of SCP-009 causes runaway reaction throughout the subject's body, resulting in redacted. Actual blood loss is minimal due to the ice crystals redacted, allowing subjects to remain alive and conscious for up to redacted hours. Number 4. Data expunged. Testing on D-class personnel was discontinued as of 4/23/20 redacted. Addendum circumstances of revival. Subject was found in redacted Alaska in 11/05/19 redacted. The Foundation became involved with reports were obtained from the native redacted tribes. Came across the mangled bodies of a team of seal hunters, which had apparently been shipwrecked redacted kilometers from the village. All victims were found encased in red ice. Cause of death recorded as internal bleeding, though closer examination found redacted. It is summarized that low ambient temperatures in the area retarded the freezing process. This prolonged the time of total conversion by blink hours, allowed the victim to remain conscious until data expunged. Origin of SCP-009 is currently unknown. Investigation into similar events or materials in the area is ongoing. Evidence at the scene suggests redacted, possibly involving SCP redacted. See Exploration Log A009-1 for details. Addendum 1109-19 redacted. After initial report and revival of specimens, it was confirmed that the arachnoid entities found by MTF-B7, see attached file, was indeed a previous unknown instance of SCP-3023, SCP-3023. Investigation has revealed that the instance originated in redacted as a result of data expunged. Addendum 12-6-19. After repeated inquiries, it should be noticed that the portion of coastline upon the initial victims were found was barren rocks approximately redacted meters from the shoreline, and was sufficiently dry and cold to prevent significant contamination of the surrounding area. Had the site been closer to water, there is little doubt an extinction level event would have ensued. Consideration of upgrading SCP-009 to Keter class under review. 12-16-20 redacted. Supercooling of SCP-009 for the purpose of experimentation is disallowed until further notice. Personnel are advised that liquid nitrogen is only to be used on the subject in controlled amounts, and only until temperatures have reached acceptable levels. Related note: possible application of SCP-009 in code fusion research pending evaluation. Memo from O5 Command 1920 redacted. We've decided to keep this thing Euclid for now. We understand the concerns raised, but as long as you keep the power on and nobody goes near its containment area, there shouldn't be a problem. That's why we're keeping it at site redacted after all. As the cold fusion research, we're putting a pin in that for now. Frankly, we don't have it in the budget for another SNAFU like site redacted. Salvage team still hasn't found Dr. Redacted. Close testing. The following experiment occurred was recovered via a chance occurrence of SCP-507, shifting into a universe in which the described test was carried out using SCP-107. The applicability of the report finds in our universe is pending review. Input: 10 milliliters of SCP-009. Result: red snow. Fell in test area for 27 minutes with moderate intensity. Grass glowing in test area began a runaway reaction which ended with entire area being frozen within minutes. Notable anthropolithic reaction of SCP-009 did not extend past the effective radius of SCP-107. For reasons still under investigation, non-grass plants in area turned bright red in color, greatly expanded, and mutated to display a cyan-colored tentacles similar to those of the species Drosera capernis. Mucilage produced by these tentacles later found to be tiny beads of SCP-009. How the plant is able to survive with SCP-009 integrated into its cell structure is currently under investigation. The preliminary hypothesis being the plant is a reflection of flora from the substance native universe.